Hello and welcome to the video. This is a video having a look at some of the amazing technology and models that Ben puts together for his customers. Now, 3DXR sells a lot of stuff on their website. You've seen me talk about it a lot on the channel. But they manufacture custom UAV systems for professionals. And those kind of UAV systems, lots of them are VTOL these days, tend to be used as kind of helicopter replacements. So traditionally we'd have to hire a helicopter with a pilot with very, very expensive camera gear. You can kind of replace that now with some kind of UAV drone system. Now, when I go to see Ben, we'll normally end up over a cup of coffee talking about some of the latest technology that he's got. I'll be talking about the latest technology that's come down into the hobby. He'll be showing me some of the new technology that he is using. And it's quite fun to see what Ben is using because some of the technology that goes into those high-end systems eventually ripples down to us. And this time I was up there, they're also just finishing a massive extension onto the 3DXR premises. So we had lots of open space. So normally the way this works is when we're having this conversation, Ben will actually take me into the warehouse and show me some of this new technology that he's got on the shelves. However, unusually, there was enough room inside with this being a brand new area, still under construction when I was there. So thank you to everybody for stopping hammering and cutting wood while we did the audio for this. But we actually managed to get some of this stuff out. So this is just a bit of a fun video to show you some of this equipment that Ben uses to build these professional UAV systems. Some of the stuff that he's about to show us costs the same as a nice family car.
So here we have the 3DXR 420 VTOL. So this is a 4.2 meter 4+1 VTOL. So this has the rear pusher motor. Now, although it's big enough to land a small model aircraft on and a physically large aircraft and expensive, what you see with these is actually really good value because the customers that use these sort of drones are often replacing a helicopter which costs millions of pounds, whereas for a fraction of the cost, you can do something like carry payloads of up to 10 kilos. So that could be a really high quality camera, and you could replace tasks such as search and rescue. So reducing the overall cost of doing that and also increasing the safety by having an unmanned aircraft over a crewed aircraft. Let's have a little look at some of the things you get with these larger aircraft. So this is a really sleek, beautiful composite aircraft, but also it's extremely quick to assemble. So the whole assembly time is toolless and also takes less than 5 minutes. So all the body panels simply push into place. All the electrical connections are made with built-in connectors and then they simply clamp together. The arm joints fold in, so simply unscrew. The main wings attach on with strong secure latches, and all the hatches that you need to get into are quickly removable. So here is the battery bay. So a drone like this runs on 12S, and that's provided by using 4 6S 30 amp hour batteries, 2 in series, 2 in parallel. So it's a nice, accessible, clean battery bay. We also have some of the other avionics hatches are nice and accessible. So one other thing about this aircraft is the quickly removable payload bays. So here's a stock payload bay. This could be used to mount a range of cameras or different payloads. We have electrical connectors which can take the power and the necessary signal cables such as Ethernet or a serial connection to that payload, which could be a surveillance camera, could be something used for gas monitoring or mapping cameras, ultraspectral cameras. So it's a really nice method. Extra payload bays could be bought so you can quickly swap out and give your aircraft a different task to do. So that was an example of one of our larger VTOLs, the 4.2 meter. Let's have a look now at something different. So some of you may have seen this before. This is the Mako Shark. So it's a 3 meter, fully composite, again a 4+1 VTOL aircraft. Now, as well as being visually stunning, this is also an engineering masterpiece. So let's have a look at some of the things that make this aircraft so special. One of the highlight facts for this is it has a flight time of over 6 hours. Now, depending on the payload, it can even be over 8 hours. From an all-electric VTOL of this size, that's unheard of and not matched in the field. Let's have a little look here at some things that make this special. We'll remove the wingtip, which simply slides out of place. So, here we have a wet laid carbon fibre wing, which is a really interesting technique here, where it's all over a closed cell foam. So I haven't seen any other aircraft quite made like this at the time this was produced. We have a highly convex wing, so this is kind of like a glider. And also you may have noticed the aircraft has a lot of dihedral. So some of the things that give this a high amount of lift and efficiency is this wing structure. It's also the lightest wing I've felt. As well as being light, it's also super strong. So nothing quite like it. Every part of this aircraft has been designed to reduce drag and increase efficiency. So there's a lot of hand finishing on every single part of it, and everything that can be sort of smoothed over or rounded over, such as the engine mounts on a nose cone, is done so. This one has a large center wing, and this is actually where the flight controller is mounted in the wing on this particular aircraft, and the battery takes up approximately this size. So it's an 8S 60,000 milliamp hour battery, which is what gives it this extremely long flight time. This particular one does use separate battery to power the VTOL motors as it does to power the push motor. With this extremely long flight time and sort of silent operation, it has a couple of potential uses, such as mapping large areas where you need an extremely long flight time, and also to carry a camera maybe up to 1 kilo, such as Sony cameras. The other option would be for monitoring surveillance, where you want to have a long time above your target, and this certainly gives that with the over 6 hour flight time. Payloads are mounted in this front bay, so let's have a little look. The cone removes, and then we have this mounting rack. Again, also multiple can be used, and this can be used to house various different camera solutions, and it can be quickly attached. So again, swapping payloads can be quite straightforward. So not only do the drones get bigger, but so do the antennas. So here we have a sectional antenna. This one's a 12 dBi, and it's in the S band, so it's around a 2 gig frequency. And as you can see, it's a pretty hefty antenna. But wait, this is a proper antenna. So this is the larger 12 dBi antenna, but this is for the 1.2 gig, so hence it gets even bigger. So these wouldn't actually be on the drone. This is for the ground station. And these particular ones, you'll see it's marked front here. So this is a sectional antenna. So this actually has a coverage of about 120 degrees. So the reason why you would have such a gigantic antenna would be to avoid using an antenna tracker. So this gives you a really good, strong signal in a sort of narrow position ahead of you. So most people that use these larger or high endurance aircraft are generally operating BV loss. So this is a type of setup you would have on the ground. You would have these larger antennas pointed in the direction of flight, and you'd normally be operating at a faraway distance, but you wouldn't actually be transiting left and right very far. So 120 degree sector is quite a good option for that instead of a tracking antenna. So something that these antennas might be connected to would be this ground control station here. So these are customizable, and this particular one here, dual screen, the bright screens that are sort of daylight readable, and we have a couple of extra controls here that could be used for camera control, so controlling zoom, pan and tilt, and a couple of quick functions here, as well as touch screen and being able to plan missions and monitor a camera all in the same system. What's quite nice about this one here, as well as being a high performance PC, it also has a bay on the back, which is fully removable, and this is where you could insert those radios and have the antennas coming out the side in the pre-built connectors. So this offers a really good, highly customizable solution in order to control these larger drones, normally having different camera payloads through one computer.
So I hope that was as fun to watch as it was for Ben and I to shoot it. If you ever have somebody complaining to you that you're spending too much money with radio control gadgetry, point them towards this video. Could be a lot worse. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organized into easy to follow playlists that, if you're trying to learn a topic, will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.